Oh, I do love it when a plan comes together. So you can maybe imagine that I'm a little bit annoyed that my recent plan has in fact not come together. I've had to go down here and rebuild all of the levees that I was wanting to build, because it turns out having a straight run of them across here was just too far away from the center of the district to actually have the water dump things actually connected to the district. So I've had to change the layout a little bit. It's going to end up looking like this. The water dump things are going to go up here, and they will actually be connected. And that means I had to do the same thing over here as well. So I've had to pull these levees back a little bit, make them a bit longer, and we're going to try and get rid of all these trees as well before we build any of this. Now, the problem, as I'm sure you can imagine, is that we are 0.4 days away from a drought, and that drought is probably going to last at least 7 days. So it's a bit of a rough spot that we find ourselves in. It is a bit of a rough spot. And I'm hoping that we're going to be okay. I am thinking I'm probably going to turn, in fact, I'm going to do it now, and I really wish there was like a shortcut. Oh, there is. I can just click on it and press P. Okay, so I'm going to turn those off, and I'm going to bring this up to 2 meters just to completely close those floodgates and stop water from flowing through into the lake. And hopefully that's going to keep us okay. Hopefully we can survive this. I'm not sure how long this drought is going to be. Like I said, probably minimum of 7 days. It might be longer. I don't know if there's like a cap on how long they can be. So we're about to find out. And, oh no. Oh no. Just flooded. Oh no. It turns out I can't do that. Oh dear. All right. 6 days. That's fine. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. I have accidentally flooded my, my little town there. Oh dear. Well, I mean, you know what? It's fine. That's fine. We'll just kind of let the water through, I guess. I'm not thrilled about doing that, but I don't think we have much of a choice. At least it's only a 6-day drought though. So we should be okay. We should be able to manage. It shouldn't be the end of the world, is what I'm thinking. We do have a decent little bit of water down in District 2 now. We have a good bit of food. I think we'll manage. I don't want to say for sure. I don't want to be like, oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be no problem at all. Everything's going to be fine. And then we just all die. All 203 beavers end up dead. That would be, honestly, for claiming it would be easy and no trouble at all, that would be what I deserve, quite frankly. So, wouldn't surprise me at all. Now this thing, how's it going? Still no gears in there, that's fine. This guy is taking a good number of gears as well. Where else are we using all of these gears? I feel like we should be making more than we are. It's a little weird. It's definitely a little bit weird. Also, this is taking forever to clear out down here. It'd be kind of nice if my beavers would come down and get rid of those trees. Although I guess I don't need to. I mean, I'd like to, because I'd like this bit to be clear. But I guess we don't actually need to. And also, now that I think about it, probably not a bad idea to pause construction on these things. I don't want any water getting dumped in the middle of a drought. And especially when it could just flood back out over here. That would be less than ideal, is the way I think I'm going to phrase that. That would definitely be a little bit less than ideal. But I'll tell you what I will do while we're down here. I think it would be a bit of an idea to get rid of all of these forester or lumberjack flags. I keep calling them foresters. Almost every other game I play, they'd be called foresters. And I want to put in an actual forester over here. And I'm thinking, like, honestly, this spot maybe there or somewhere like here. Actually, right about there is kind of perfect for it. And I think what we'll do as well is go in and get rid of some of these paths because they were supposed to be temporary anyway. So those go and you go, and then this one goes, that one goes. And that's fine. And basically what I'm thinking we do, because we are getting a little bit lower on logs and we are consuming more wood than we have before, is I'm tempted to say maple trees. I feel like maple would be the way to go. I mean, how much pine are we growing? We're not actually growing that much pine over here anymore, are we? Huh. We're doing a lot of maple. In fact, it's all maple. So yeah, let's actually do pine trees down here instead. So this whole space, although you know what? Going in and getting rid of all of those materials, probably not a bad idea either. So let's just mark everything here for demolition, just to clean up the area, get rid of everything that we don't want. And then we'll just start growing a bunch of pine trees down there. And that'll be good. It'll give us another supply of wood. And then at the sides, I mean, we could try and do some... Well, we could try and do some farming down here, but I don't think we're going to be able to. I think the best thing to do, honestly, would be start filling up all of this space and maybe build a new district. Maybe a new district sort of down here or up here or anywhere around here, because we're going to have, I mean, here would even work. Because in theory, this land is all going to be irrigated, so actually right here would be kind of cool too. So I don't know, we'll figure it out. It doesn't really matter where it's going to be yet. You know, it's not a huge deal. We just need the area to be cleaned up. We need to get these in, and we need to make sure we don't run out of water, which actually looking at it, the water levels here are, they're kind of diabolically low for not even being a third of the way into this drought. That is alarming. That's the way to describe that. Then over here is about halfway done. So, I mean, we have water in storage down here. My biggest worry is just the crops, but I think we'll be fine. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Let's just get this gone. And then I can go ahead and I can say delete this section of path right there. And let's go ahead and say that I want some levees right there. And what we'll do is prioritize this to get it built in a way that makes sense. So you are top priority. Oh God, those are oriented differently. Hold on. That is not happening right there. Landscaping, levee. I want them facing the same direction. I just noticed that I can rotate these things. So that's fine. And then we'll do this. And we'll do this. You know what? If I was a petty person, which I can be, and I've done this before, I would have like one of these facing the wrong way just to annoy everybody watching. I've 100% done that before in a couple of different games. Just oriented something wrong on purpose just to see who notices. You know, just to see who's paying attention. You know, just for those of you in the back of the class that might be, you know, with you're sitting with like your phone in your pencil case, acting like you're doing work, but you're actually on, you know, my face or something like that. Oh God. I'm not old enough to get away with that joke. Let's do a water pump right there. And honestly, we'll just do one for now. I think just the single pump is going to be fine. And that'll get built in time is what it'll do. We should be able to build these relatively easily, though. I just hope we build the right ones, because right now it looks like we're not doing that. So we will see. And then these ones are done as well. So this should work out, right? This should work out. And I've realized, ooh, I've had an idea. I've had a think about something. What if I did this differently? What if instead of, oh, this could be interesting. Okay. What if instead of doing what I'm doing, we get rid of you, right? So that goes away. And then we get rid of these guys and we bring some levees forward like this, right? And then we go and we unlock the floodgate. We do 3 floodgates so that we can use this water pump, to bring up some water out of this soon-to-be lake, but we also have the option of opening up these floodgates and, you know, dumping more water into this space in, you know, emergencies or something like that. I feel like that would be the way to do it. I feel like that's the way to go. So I'm going to sort of do this as well. So we have like a little channel that it can go through. And then in terms of getting beavers across this, I mean, I guess we just do like a little staircase there and there. And we do just some platforms with a simple little thing like this. And that seems fine. That seems like a fine little way to do things. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. And we can do this as well, so that they can get right down there. That seems like the right way to do things, I've got to be honest. Although it now means that this entire construction is going to take a little bit longer, which isn't necessarily ideal. So I'll tell you what we can do. Let me get rid of this as well. Let me move the platforms down just to make sure that everything can get built and, you know, be easily accessed. And then we're going to have to prioritize all of this. And I guess what I could do is sort of prioritize those as well. And maybe we don't double this up unless we need to. Maybe that's kind of how we look at this, because this side here doesn't need to be doubled up, right? So this is unnecessary. And then since we're only going to have the one, well, we're not even going to have a water pump for now. So let's just do a single layer to save on materials. And I think that'll be okay. I think that'll work out. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't know how amazing it's necessarily going to be, but I'm okay with this. I'm curious to see if it works. I'm curious to see how it turns out. I'm hopeful that it turns out well. I'm hopeful that my thinking works here. Because my theory is if I dump enough water, this will eventually fill up, and then I can eventually just open this and flood that river. In theory, right? It's a very big in theory, but oh, there it goes. Not even halfway in. At least this is still full. So we still have this going for us. So we still have a supply of water, but half of my crops are just going to end up dead. Which isn't ideal, but that's just the way of it. And then over here, I mean, oh, I don't know. This is still about halfway full, so we'll see how that goes. I just kind of want all of this built as quickly as possible, really. I mean, it's just a lot of logs for the most part, so it's just a case of grabbing them from... Oh, wait, how many logs do we have in District... We have no logs in District 1 and a lot of logs in District 2. Well, that checks out. Okay. What if we set up a little cheeky delivery route? That might not be a bad idea, because we kind of need them over here more than anything else. So, logs... Okay, click you. Distribution limits. I mean, we have 54, I guess. I feel like the minimum on this should be 0 and the max can be like 250. Right? So that should give us a little decent delivery of logs over from District 2 to District 1. And then once all this is cleared out, we can go ahead and set that whole area up for growing some more pine trees as well. I guess this is the downside of maple, right? It just takes so long to grow that we end up in situations like this. But that's all right. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. We still have some, and we have the deliveries on the way as well. This guy's carrying some water. That's fine. Do we actually have a delivery on the way? We probably do not. That's fine. District 2 actually has a few unemployed workers, so we'll go ahead and hire them here. And we could hire a few in the holding post as well, which leaves us 3 unemployed workers in this district. And that's probably fine. It keeps them busy, right? It keeps most of them busy. And then District 1 has 4 unemployed workers. So we're actually getting pretty good at not having a tremendous number of unemployed beavers. But that also means if I want to expand you know, the labor going on in either district, we're getting to the point where we're going to have to get more beavers. Also, are you homeless or are you dead? Where do you live? Oh, you live over there. Oh. Huh. So I feel like this beaver here might have been so far away from home that he gave up on the idea of going home. That's not ideal, but I guess fair enough. I'm not judging, I suppose. It's just a bit weird, but all right. I guess fair enough. He's still sleeping though. He is also starving. You want to wake up there, bud? He's actually still going. Still sleeping. Still, there he goes. Okay, well, hopefully he doesn't starve to death from sleeping too much. That would be, that sounds like something I would do. Honestly, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. I struggle to get to sleep. But once I'm asleep, I am asleep. I am staying asleep until I feel like not being asleep. It's actually, well, yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. I was gonna say it's not, but that's pretty accurate and pretty true for me. It is weird though. I'm a really heavy sleeper once I get to sleep, but at the same time, I have this sort of knack for, I don't know, I guess it's like my like a natural body clock or something like that, where if I absolutely have to do something, then I will be awake for it regardless of when I went to sleep. So even if I only sleep an hour or two, I will wake up on time 9 out of 10 times without an alarm. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know how I manage it, but it's a thing I just seem to do. It generally only applies to traveling though. So if I have a flight to catch, I'll be awake in time to get the flight. If I have a train or a taxi, or if I have like an event or something like that I'm going to, I'll be awake for it. But if it's like, oh, I said I would hold a live stream at noon, I will sleep right through that. I don't know. I guess the live stream I didn't like spend a bunch of money and book taxis and flights and stuff for, whereas, you know, the traveling I did. I guess maybe that's what's going on. But I don't know. I'll tell you one thing though. Less than 2 days on this drought, District 1 has probably got enough water to last. District 2 actually has more water right now, and the water level is actually looking okay, so we might be okay. We might actually be able to pull this off, which would be kind of great. I'm just hoping this all gets built in a good amount of time. How many logs do we have here? 22. Okay. We could definitely use more. That's all I'm saying, is we could definitely use more logs. What are you guys moving? There we go. So this guy's moving some logs. That's fine. So that's a little delivery on the way. I'll tell you what we should do then. Let's prioritize getting rid of all of these materials so we can start growing them ourselves. We also need to build this forester as well. So if we can get rid of all of these, we can grow some trees, and that'll be that. That'll be, you know, we won't need the deliveries coming over. Also, what are you full of? Berries, bread, carrots, flour, wheat, of course. I guess that makes sense. That's fair enough. We probably should have just put a large warehouse out here, to be completely honest. And speaking of warehouses in general, most of them are full, which is terrifying. Because we have a lot of storage, but we just have, oh my god, we have 2,400 baked potatoes. That'll do it. That doesn't sound bad either. That sounds like a good thing. I could kind of go, I could go for a baked, well, it's a grilled potato in this, but I could go for a baked potato. Get some cheese on there, get some beans on there, a little bit of butter on there, a little bit of cream cheese on there. Oof. Bit of salt, bit of pepper. Nothing too fancy, man. People go crazy with baked potato. I don't know what this video is. First we're talking about me sleeping or not sleeping, and now it's baked potatoes. This feels like a Am I playing City Skylines? Is this a City Skylines video? This feels like a City Skylines video. Look, I don't know why or when people started going crazy with putting weird things on baked potatoes, but you get people that are like, oh, I've got like some salad in there. I've got like this weird thing. I've got that weird thing. I've got all of this, you know, junk in there. No, man. You don't need all that. Look, a good baked potato just needs some butter and some salt. If it's baked and cooked properly, that's all you need. But if you want to be a little fancy with it, just some beans, you know, nothing crazy, just some beans, and not Heinz. This is a hill I will die on. Heinz beans are not, and there goes my Heinz sponsorship, which was, I'm sure that was in the mail. Heinz are not the best bean. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Branston beans are better. And if you cook them in the microwave, you're wrong. Cook your beans in a little pot on the stove, right? Bring them up slowly in temperature. Let them slowly cook. Takes a little bit longer, but the sauce thickens up that they're in. And that's where most of the flavor is. But also, Heinz just has too much sauce. There's just too much of it. It's too watery. It doesn't thicken up. There's too much. It takes way too long. It would take 2 or 3 times the length of time needed, right? So, no. Branston beans are the better bean. And now that we got that out of the way, thankfully, the drought is about to be over. So I would imagine the lake is potentially going to drain, but the drought being over at least means this is going to fill up again. And we're actually doing okay for water. All of these areas stayed irrigated except for the ones by the river, and that's okay. So, perfect, basically. That's about what we want. We'll get these guys sort of being built as well, because this is about to be done. So we're almost at the point where we can let water flow through here. We just kind of need this finished. That's kind of where we're at. And we have no logs in this district whatsoever, so a few of those would be nice. Definitely thinking a few of those would be nice. But at least this has been cleared out, so, well, actually looking at it, I think we need a path down there, don't we? So a path down to about there is absolutely essential, as well as a little lumberjack just down there as well. So that'll let us clear out these last few trees. And then what we can do is we can go pine, and we can just set this whole area to be a bunch of pine trees, which is exactly what I want it to be. So there we go. And there we go. And there we go. So that should be fine. That'll be a really nice amount of trees down there. We got some water coming in as well, which is fantastic. Good. That's good. That's what we need. That's absolutely what we needed right there. So let's see if we can just get this whole thing finished. We're almost done with the logs on this. These guys are not a priority, so they're not getting worked on too much right now, and that's okay. So there we go. Oh, wait, that's going to make you... Oh, no. Oh, no. What do we do about you? What do we do about you? I mean, there's not really anything we can do. This little beaver's kind of gonna be stuck. I guess we demolish this, right? I guess that's kind of the only choice we have, is demolish that and let him back through. Which is a bit annoying, but I think it's fairly essential, right? It should make building all of this a little easier, I guess. But it'd be nice if I didn't have to do that. But regardless, we're getting there. That's what's important, is we're slowly, oh, ever so slowly, getting to where we want to be. Well, the good news is that this is all up and running, and I've managed to get a couple of triple lodges up here as well. Along with, of course, a couple of rooftops on it as well to make it a little bit fancier. The bad news is that we don't have enough workers available in this district to do anything, basically. We just don't have the workers. We have a lot of beavers that have died over the course of the last while. We've got a lot of beavers being born right now, which is certainly something. I mean, we have 37 kids throughout the entire colony, which is all right. But basically, we just need beavers to be available to work. Globally, there are 4 unemployed beavers right now. 2 of those are in District 1, and 5 of those, okay, I think we just got a few more unemployed beavers. Regardless, we kind of need some beavers to get to work. And thus far, we have none that are actually going out and working. So there's not really a lot we can do. At the moment, we're kind of just waiting on beavers showing up to go to work, which hopefully they will eventually do. I'm not entirely sure why these things need workers, but for whatever reason, they do need workers, and so we are just kind of waiting for those to show up. But at least we have this, right? We have a little bit of housing down here. We've got this whole thing set up. In theory, this should work at some point. I don't know when that some point is going to be, but in theory, at some point, it'll work out. I actually wonder, would it be worth sending some beavers? Like, if I sent 5 beavers from here to District 1? I mean, I don't know if that's a great idea, but it's what we're going to try. And, ooh. Oh, now we actually have workers. Okay, so that was a good idea. That actually has worked out. I just kind of want to see what these things do. I want to see if it ends up being useful. I want to see if this is actually something that's going to benefit us in any way at all. And, I mean, that's not bad, I guess. I feel like it's going to take a really long time to fill up, but I guess that's a start. I don't know. I actually have no idea, to be completely honest, if this is going to do anything for us at all. I really don't, but I mean, it is a start, so that's what's important. And I guess the idea is that we would use this to... This is extra water storage, right? So the idea is that if this river runs out, we then open the floodgates and we, you know, let this through. Now, what height are you set to right now? Still 1.5? That's fine. Okay. Yeah, no, this should work, right? This should totally work. I think it's just going to take forever, basically, to actually have any meaningful impact. Yeah, there we go. It's spreading a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I can deal with this. It is absolutely going to take forever, but I can deal with this. We have some water nearby. We have these guys nearby, so that should be fine. I mean, once it gets to here, we're barely going to see it move, but that's okay. Let's raise this right up to full height so nothing gets through. And now it really is just a waiting game. It's not going to be an exciting waiting game, but it's a waiting game, and that's okay. You know, I think this probably helps a little bit, just having an extra 2 of these water dumps right there. And it certainly looks like it. I mean, like I said, it is going to take forever for this whole area here to fill up, but that's okay. This is at least going to eventually be a bit of a reserve, I guess, for water. It should help us out when it comes around to droughts a little bit later on. But what I do think is probably a bit of an idea is actually getting a little bit more housing out here, because the population has definitely, it's definitely stagnated a little bit. We're not seeing as much growth from the population recently. So I think doing a little something about that just to get a few more people living out here is probably worth it. So let's go ahead and let's delete some buildings, or some paths rather. So I want to delete all of this, and what I want to do is grab myself another triple lodge and put it right about there. And I think that'll be okay. I think that's probably decent enough in terms of, what's that, 9, 18, 27 more beavers. That seems pretty good. So in terms of getting up there, we'll keep it nice and simple. We'll just do a little platform there. We'll do some stairs right there. And we'll do some stairs down here as well. And we could connect it to all of this. I don't think we need to do that. I think what we'll do is just something like... I think something like that's okay, with some platforms that kind of go around like that. And then the paths can just be something nice and simple like that. So it gives us a good little bit of coverage, gives us plenty more housing, and if I wanted to, actually, I could, well, potentially do a little double lodge down here, but I don't think I want to do a double. Maybe just a normal sort of lodge there would be an idea, and then one right there as well. And that just gives us a little bit of extra housing, and it gives us some beavers that live and potentially work in this area as well. In terms of decoration, I think we're definitely going to want some of these. Although I don't know if sort of stacking them all right next to each other would be the way to go. But I feel like it's going to have to be the way to go, unless I can get these... I can get these flat ones, which technically we can build on top of these. Which might actually look kind of cool if I do that, and then I go and do... I don't know what ones we actually need for this. These ones, I think. Yeah, something like that. It's pretty weird looking, isn't it? But it's also kind of cool looking, so I don't mind that too much. And then down here, I mean, we can just do this, and I think that's okay. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. I like that this area has actually got some development going on. I like that we're going to have some beavers down here now. Although I wonder if maybe... do we maybe want to do a little something with food? Because we certainly could. I mean, these carrots in here are going to grow a little bit quicker thanks to the bees. So I wonder if it would be worth doing something similar. I mean, we have a lot of potatoes. I wonder if it would be worth doing the same. Actually, looking at it, we have a lot of wheat. Where is most of that? It's actually split across both districts. So I wonder if another mill would be the idea then. I wonder if getting another mill in here to produce a bit more bread would be the way to go. Although we have a lot of bread or flour. We have a lot of flour as well, so maybe both? Maybe what we do is we clear out some space. Actually, over here would be really good. Now, getting power to this thing would be a bit of a nightmare, but we have got a lot of stuff in these spaces. So if I was to put this mill up here, I mean, I don't know that we have the means to power it. I don't know that there's enough power coming from these guys, but I would be tempted. Although looking over here as well, yeah, we should have enough power. We should absolutely have enough power. I'll tell you what, let's clear out some of this space, right? Let's mark out this whole area. Annoyingly, I'm a little reluctant to do this because I realize this is taking away some of the resource that we're wanting to work with, but it's just gonna be the way we do this. We'll put another mill right in there. We'll bring a path out and sort of around it. And then we'll do another, I guess another bakery needs to go somewhere. Now, I think I have an idea. I think what I'm going to do is a small warehouse right here. And I'm going to put a bakery on top of it. Just because I can. That's the only reason I'm doing that. Just because I can. Just because I think it's going to look interesting. So just a little something like this. And that's fine. So that's going to be more bread production. And then for the mill, I mean, it's going to share power with the one next to it, which is fantastic. So we'll do something like this. And that'll be a bit more food production for this district, and that'll hopefully keep everyone nice and happy. Now, in terms of making sure that the wheat is growing as best as it possibly can, or as well as it possibly can, I need to look at these beehives. So one in the middle, and then, So basically every 6 tiles, or every 7th tile should be a beehive. So let me do, we're not going to get this perfectly. which is going to be annoying, but I think that's okay. So what we'll do is mark that for demolition. That gives us 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that one. So marking those should be fine. And then marking this one. And then I guess we want to go here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. So that should improve the wheat situation a little bit. And I guess there as well, maybe? I don't know. Maybe here. Let's go for there as well. That'll be... Actually, we'll cancel that one. We'll get those 4 out of there, and that'll be fine. So let's prioritize you, or those 5 rather. So we'll get those out of there, and then hopefully we can get some beehives in there, and hopefully that'll just help the growth a little bit. I mean, I don't know how much these actually do boost the growth. It just says they vaguely boost it. So we'll see what that ends up being. But right there's a good spot. Right there's a good spot. Right about there is a good spot. And right about there. And right about there. So that will help the... Yeah, that's decent enough coverage. That'll help some of the wheat grow, which is exactly what we want. This area down here is... wow. That built so much quicker than I thought it would. Now, how do I go about building the rooftops on there? That's the real question, because I do want those. I just don't know the best way to build them. Maybe, I guess it's going to have to be more scaffolding, isn't it? So it's going to have to be something like this, and like this, and we'll build it around. And I guess something like that, right? It's a little weird that we're kind of building all this, but, you know, I want my rooftops to look a certain way, so that's what we're going to do. It's a complete waste of resources, but I want my construction to look a certain way. I'm going to get it to look that certain way. And also, that's actually more progress than I was expecting from that area. That's good. And just like that, the rooftops are done, which is absolutely fantastic, and I think they look kind of great. Now, in less pleasant news, we do have a drought coming in just under 3 days, which I'm curious to see what a drought will do to all of this, because from what I gather, the way the drought works is it essentially just stops the water flow, and we're left with however much water is still in this space, and this space as well. So it shouldn't do anything to this, because this water isn't being consumed by anything unless, and this is something I don't know, unless the game has passive evaporation, which if it does, we're kind of screwed, because this water will just evaporate and this will have all been for nothing. But that's something we're going to find out. We're going to see if the game actually simulates evaporation and all of that stuff. And if it does, that is going to be a problem. It's that simple. It's going to be a major problem if the game actually does do that. So hopefully it doesn't. That's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. Hopefully the game doesn't simulate evaporation, or we're going to have a massive problem. But I am going to keep these guys running for, you know, the duration of the next 2.2 days and then turn them off. I'll probably turn these guys off as well. And then we're just going to see how it goes. I mean, we have 1,400 water in District 1, just over 1,000 in District 2. We have a bit of food in District 2 as well, so everything should be fine. The population in District 2 isn't really growing. It's staying relatively consistent. District 1 has had some growth. Obviously, these new houses down here have helped with that a little bit. And that's okay. I'm not really too worried about that. I think the area will be fine. Although these guys probably do need some water sources a little bit closer to where they are right now. Because I'm noticing, you know, they all wake up and make a run straight over here. So we might need to do something about that. For now, it doesn't seem to be a massive issue. No one's dying of thirst or anything, so it's not the end of the world. I don't know. I'm actually nervous about this drought. I'm nervous to see if the game has got evaporation, and if it does, like I said, we're ever so slightly screwed, but it really is. It's just a case of time will tell. In other good news, we have got these beehives coming together, which means we will have that little bit of extra growth for the wheat over here. We should have these ones coming together relatively soon as well, which again is going to be a nice little bit of extra growth for us. Although looking at it, I almost feel like we really probably do. Actually, you know what I think the reason is that we're not seeing much harvesting going on? I think most of my warehouses are full. I think that's what's going on. So you know what we need to do? We need to get an underground warehouse. These things have a capacity of 4,000, by the way, so they're actually kind of great. So I think what we'll do is we're going to need to look for a good area for them. And actually, I think right in here, get rid of you, and 2 massive underground warehouses right in there. Now, they do need a good number of logs and a good number of planks and, well, not logs, sorry, planks and gears, which is going to be a bit of a pain. But getting those in there will be fantastic. That's going to be 8,000 more storage capacity, which I think we absolutely need. I'm kind of curious to see how that ends up going once we get that in there. But getting the gears for it is... it's a bit of a slog, to be honest. It's a bit of a chore. So we'll see if we can prioritize those buildings a little bit and see if that maybe helps us out. And then in terms of everything else, I mean, we could probably prioritize that a little bit less. These guys absolutely need to be priorities. These guys are fine. Those guys are fine. These guys aren't prioritized. These have to be as well, because we do want to fill this as quickly as we can. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. I mean, getting the logs and getting the planks is not going to be a problem. Getting the gears absolutely is. So maybe that's what we do over here as well. I mean, we have decent power production, and District 2 has a decent number of logs, or sorry, planks. So maybe getting some gears over here wouldn't be a terrible idea either. I mean, it's 120 horsepower needed. We are actually using all the power that we have down here right now, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go in, mark those resources for demolition. We're going to have to go and say that we need another water wheel, and it's going to need to live right there. We are going to need to build ourselves a little platform right there so that we can get to that thing. And I guess what we do is we get a gear workshop as well. And I'm thinking it can probably just go, I don't know, down here somewhere or like here. Doesn't really matter where it goes, to be completely honest. But what we'll do is just mark up a little bit more of this space for deletion. So I'm thinking that this little bit here can probably go, and then this little bit as well, and that's where the workshop can go. So that should be fine. That should work out, and I think it's too far from builders. Once the platform's done, we should be able to do this though. Right, so that platform's done. Yeah, so this can now be built, which is great. So we'll get that done. These can be cleared out, and then the workshop itself, I mean, it's just going to go sort of there. And we'll just get some more power shafts in there to connect everything. And that should be okay. So that shouldn't take too long at all. What we'll do is get rid of you. We'll put this guy right here. We'll get this guy right here. We can get this one eventually. And that should all work out. Although, thinking about it, that definitely needs to be a priority as well. Because we kind of need that power. We kind of absolutely need that power. And just like that, the drought has started. I've got all of these paused, so hopefully that's not going to be the end of the world. And I've just noticed we have 85 unemployed beavers right now. 85 unemployed beavers. How have I wound up with 85 unemployed beavers? I guess, I mean, these all hire 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, what? That doesn't... Oh my god. I mean, 67 of them are in this district, I guess. I am not 100% sure how we've wound up with 85 unemployed beavers. None of them are homeless or anything like that, so... I've got no idea. I have absolutely no idea how that's come about. Let's get that prioritized as well, though, and let's start to get the final little touches on this right here. So in terms of priorities, that right there, you're going to be secondary. In fact, that's not even right. That needs to be a T shaft as well. That needs to be a straight section, and then the gear workshop goes right about there. And that should be fine. So in terms of priorities, it's going to be secondary for all of that. In fact, that kind of needs to be prioritized as well. In fact, we'll just prioritize everything over anything else they might be doing. So we'll get that going. We'll get some gears being made, and hopefully we can start sending those over to District 1. In fact, we can stop that right there, and we can go ahead and set up a new route over to the main district. So right about there, and it's going to be gears. And in terms of limits and all that, I mean, a maximum of 100 seems fine to me. So that'll hopefully work out. That'll hopefully go well. And let's see, has the drought fully kicked in? It has. Is this water doing anything? It isn't. So we might not have any evaporation, which is good. That's kind of what we're hoping for. Hopefully this just doesn't drain away into nothing and my efforts, you know, don't go to waste. Hopefully. Very big hopefully. There's still time. It's a 7-day drought, so this could still go very badly. But hopefully it doesn't.